Chucky's got kits now. Welcome everybody to another episode of Dead Bitches Brunch Tits Up. We're having a little spooky Halloween fun here tonight. With you as always, your host. My name is Lindsay B, Priestess of All Darkness. Leah Pettibone with me tonight.
AKA Tiffany Valentine, right?
Well, folks, thank you for everybody for tuning in tonight. We have a killer episode here for you guys tonight. We have a artist who makes all things creepy. Everyone's had a scary doll story. Everyone has had that toy that they were convinced was haunted or possessed. Just creeped you out. I had a dollhouse that I was convinced was possessed and was going to kill me at some point. So, this is going to be a great episode for that here, folks. But without further ado, let's bring on our guest of honor, the artist behind SpookyEmber. She is going to be having a product drop here this month as well. But we are going to talk about all things creepy toys and creepy dolls that just get possessed and go bump in the night because we just want to play with you so much. So without further ado, folks, SpookyEmber. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to kick it with the Dead Bitches. We're so excited to have you on and all of your creepy creations.
Yeah. No problem at all. Yeah. As soon as I saw the message, I was like, yeah, I'm down. I'm totally down for going on a podcast for sure.
No, I love all of everything that you've been coming out with here recently. I found you actually on TikTok in one of my mindless scrolling binges on there, and I was like, oh, creepy dolls. Stopped, looked you up right away, instantly messaged you, was like, oh, hey, you want to be on our show and talk about your creepy toys? But no, your stuff is epically awesome here. We're going to go show more of your work here, but I'm going to pull up some of the ones we used for the promo image here. So you customize and make creepy toys amongst other creepy home accessories as well. But a big part of your market is with these spooky dolls here. So how did you get into this?
I've always made creepy things anyway, but I'm really into recycling things that normally no one would want. So I definitely go to the thrift stores often as an excuse. But I take porcelain dolls and I remove their hair and their eyeballs because those are, I use polymer clay, which is an oven baked clay. So I take all that off. I have an idea book and I just go through it and pick an old sketch of mine and make it three-dimensional for someone to have in their house.
No, it's awesome. I love how you just take something that already just by itself, sometimes those old porcelain dolls and toys are just already just creepy enough on their own. You can kind of have this weird vibe from them, and then you just take it to this next level. It's you just make the nightmare come true.
Yes.
With the toys.
Definitely. I think all of us have been given a porcelain doll at some point in our life by a relative that didn't know us very well or hated us perhaps, and you're too polite to get rid of it. Your parents put it in your room and it stares at you at night. So I'm really making it what we all thought it was doing in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Feeling for sure. When I was a kid, my grandma used to make dolls, and so then she would give them to me as gifts, and they didn't bother me when I was a lot younger, but then, as I got a little bit older, started watching spooky stuff, I was like, oh, okay, dolls are creepy now.
Yeah.
And then, so I put one of these dolls in, it was a gift bag, and I shoved it up in the top of my closet, and I heard a clink, but I thought, well, it's just the glass clinking. So then I went to take the bag down another time, like months later, and the doll's face was shattered. And just the look of that, like, shattered doll face scared the shit out of me for some reason. I was like, oh my God.
I don't blame you. I grew up in a house from 1910 growing up, and it was interesting. It was definitely a creepy house, and I had a bunch of dolls because my parents and I traveled with carnivals a lot. So there was another booth that sold porcelain dolls, but they liked me because I was one of the few kids hanging out at these places, and they would call them the doll lady. I do not remember their name, but they'd give me a doll every time they saw me, and I'm like, you must really not like me. Fucking dolls, I'm stuck with them.
No, I hear you, and I completely spaced on uploading this picture. My grandmother was a huge doll collector. I mean, massive doll collector. And Christmas was her time that she like brought these babies out in force. Like they were up the stairwell in the Christmas trees. Like there was thousands of dolls everywhere. And when I was really little, she was like, oh, you're my life doll here. So she bought me this tiny little like real wedding dress. Like it has a train and a veil and like everything. And there's this really creepy picture of tiny me with thousands of dolls around me dressed up as a doll. And when my boyfriend said, I knew you were a fucking dog.
That is terrifying. I don't know about that. You could blend in, give your grandma a heart attack though. Just be like, oh my gosh.
just come out.
No one.
I gotta see this picture.
Yeah, I'll try to find it here. I have it like the actual picture like sitting on my vanity because I always thought it was like the funniest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll find it here for everybody. But no, she would give me dolls, an excessive amount of dolls. So I've always had just an ass ton of dolls everywhere. And I remember I had this one room that was essentially like a closet or a pantry, I think. But my family lived in a tiny trailer. All the boys in one room. I get the closet room that has all this shelving. I'm like, Dad, it's a pantry. And so they line up like just all these shelves were just full of dolls. And I remember just laying in my little bed, just being like, oh my God, these bitches are gonna come get me.
It only takes one.
Yeah, it just takes one. And then I had a
doll gone wrong
too that I was convinced was possessed. Like I would like try to like stare at it really hard before I'd go to bed to remember where every doll and piece of furniture was in it. And then when I'd wake up, I'd like run and go look at it again and try to like judge, did anything move?
Oh my God, no, thank you. And it's surrounding you, it's like zombies. There's a lot of them. You can take on one doll. Like you can just break its face and break its legs. It can't go nowhere then. Or you just give it more weapons because then it's like sharp and it can stab you. But like multiple piling on you, oh my gosh. I'd hopefully have a heart attack before they actually get to me. I'd be like, nope.
But possessed doll movies or even possessed toy movies, I think, are just one of the funnest like horror genres out there, especially depending on how they decide they're gonna like animate them to like come alive and stuff, and then like seeing like the little baby dolls like walk around and be like wobbly. No,
definitely. I'm a huge fan of when they have a really interesting story or if there's like a practical effect behind it, and just the look of it, because the look of a doll for a doll movie is the setting. It's like a mask for slashers. It is the brand of that movie then. Like that is going to be the most recognizable thing. Like Friday the 13th, the mask, instantly. Halloween, the mask, instantly. Same goes for like doll films. If you have a crappy doll, chances are no one's going to remember that film. Or they'll remember it because I love crappy horror. So I remember it because it was so bad. It was good. It's one or the other.
So how long have you been in this business of customizing and making these little creepy, fantastic creatures?
So the dolls, about 2 years.
Okay.
Sculpting in general, I've been sculpting for 10 years. Yeah, but I've always done art in general, but I went to like the medium of clay over time. I had, friends that were using some clay, and so I got into it. I took a clay class in high school. I hated it so much I didn't go to that class anymore. I was like, you're in art class, you don't matter anyway.
Yeah.
I definitely did that, but it just slowly evolved from there. Finding new things to sculpt on top of and turn into like characters is always fun. I just really always been kind of an artsy fartsy kid, and I watched horror movies at a young age because my dad's really into slasher films. So we had all the VHSs, and I would just watch them over and over and over again until I broke the rewinder. I had the little bar, and like the trunk popped, and you popped the VHS in it, and you're like, please don't eat it. Please don't eat it.
Oh, that was the worst.
And you put it in. Yeah. So I kind of just grew up with creepy stuff, slowly evolved from there. And then I found a love for clay, and I've just been doing that for like 10 years. But the creepy figures, probably about the last 5 years I've been working on creepy things. Because before that, I did more like traditional sculpting, like head busts and things like that. But then that gets boring really fast, and then I slowly evolved into my own little creatures and my own little world, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been really fun thinking of stories because each of my things come with like an evidence tag with a story behind them.
I love that.
Yeah, they have names, they have like where they were found, what victim was doing. Usually it correlates with the theme overall. It's really a lot of fun. I love naming everything is the best
That's
part.
really cool. That makes it a lot more personal too.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I love it.
No, that's really cool. I had just found out, I was looking through your Etsy the other day, and that was one of your customers left that review on there about the amazing story that you included with it and everything. And I was like, oh man, that is so cool. Like just that extra special touch to something, because as an artist, I see this, like not so much myself, but when I see my boyfriend and he's like creating masks and stuff, there is a whole story and a character behind it and everything. And you do try to like, tell that when you display your art and stuff, but I love that they come with that on there. It's kind of like, I never had one of these. These were for rich kids. When they had the Cabbage Patch dolls with the birth certificate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like the American Girl dolls.
Yeah.
I just love a story. Like if you have a story, you can convince me to buy anything at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a fun interaction thing. There's those mystery like murder kits you can get, and they have like fake evidence, and it tells like a little story. And I like to think they're kind of getting that experience, because one of the things about horror movies, besides the practical effects that I absolutely love, I love practical effects so much because it takes a lot of, especially back in the day when they first started, they had to invent what they were doing. There was nothing for that. So, but also the stories were so unique. Nowadays, it's kind of like copy and paste, but I like the idea of something having a story. So not only do you have something cool, but then you can talk about it as well, which it really means a lot to me. So everything has a story, or everything has a funny name. Like I have some examples. So I make these mushroom dudes, and they're called my all-seeing shrooms, and the eyes are from my doll. So I keep everything. So when the doll eyes get removed, I don't put them back. And this is like one of the porcelain dolls I'm working on, but it's just a porcelain doll from the thrift store. Who wants it besides me and the elderly? And I just go for them. And I used to make miniatures. That's what really got my TikTok blew up, because I really like miniatures, like from CSI. There's this episode where it's like the murderer makes minis of his murder scenes. I thought that was really cool, and I thought it'd be cool to make like mini murder scenes and stuff like that. Like the fun house behind me, that's a mini fun house I made out of like trash.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Like these are my VHS monsters, my movie monsters. The clown.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I call it my movie monsters. Like this one is going to go with a little story, and then I make I make cassette tape ones that are called my Devil's Music or Satan's Mixtape.
That's so cool. I can't get over that tape. Is that like out of all of the different kind of things you do, like the dolls and the tapes and everything, is there something that you do that's your favorite?
I would have to say, oh, that's tough. Because when you make things, it's like you take breaks between what you want to make and what sells well. I'd say what I really enjoy making would probably be anything with my air dry clay, because then I have 2 hours to make it. I don't have those 7 hours that other things take. But like the VHSs and cassette tape monsters probably are my favorite, because they're the most goofy. Yeah. and no one else, I've never seen anybody else make them. And they're actually my inspirations from Pagemaster, if anybody's seen that.
I love that movie.
So I was like, I want to do that, but with VHSs, and they're haunted. Like the movie is so bad, they become sentient. And if you watch it, it's like the Ring effect, but they each have their own side effects. Like that one, he's going to have like the worst comedy movies you can ever imagine. And if you watch it, you laugh to death. It's kind of like the joke.
I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Even now, just like seeing that behind you, it looks so creepy, and the creepier the better. So
Yeah.
Thank you. They're mostly like VHSs that I got for free because they were in storage for so long. The film curdled on them, it kind of shrunk in. And I got like a whole box of them. I've got so many Three Stooges VHSs you cannot believe. I will die with them. My casket will be made out of them. I have so many. It's ridiculous.
that's awesome.
I love that it's the Three Stooges. Still giving laughs to this day. I found the picture while we were talking.
Ooh, yeah, let's see. That is terrifying. Those are cool too. They're all lined up in a parade. That's horrifying. No one is checking those presents. That's a safeguard right there.
Oh my God, there were so many even back there.
I know. They're just all over the place.
Oh, you look cute. That's
The living doll leads the play. Yeah.
Oh.
movie, not gonna lie.
So one thing when we were kind of doing our little pre-interview yesterday, you were talking about your clown collection. And as soon as you mentioned that, I'm like, oh, this is our kind of girl here. Here at the Dead Bitches, our executive producer is a clown bitch, Gravity Bleeds from Philbrick Studios and stuff. And he's obsessed with clowns. We're only allowed to be clowns for Halloween, except when I can sneak in things like this. Outside of the main days on there. So you said you always kind of grew up with this being around horror, and your dad was into slasher movies and stuff like that. And everybody through time kind of gravitates to their genres and everything. Some people really like clowns, some people really like fun horror, and that's silly. Some people are more about the serious, they're what now the term elevated horror is a term. So like shows like Hereditary and stuff like that.
Tour of the haunt. Only the best can go to my eyes. No.
What would you say is your go-to genre or niche in horror that you love?
Goofy, campy for sure. My favorite horror movie of all times is Army of Darkness, so that pretty much tells you all you need to know. I like it when it doesn't take itself serious, really. And usually lower budgets just seem far more interesting because since it's lower budget, they only have so much money, so they get really creative, and I love that. I love trash horror, I guess you can call it. What's that one movie? Gingerbread, and then there's that snowman one. And it's like, what is possible? But I love it. Very strange, but I'm here for it.
Yep.
Mostly that. Oh yeah, and the one with Nicolas Cage where he doesn't talk at all. What's that called? Willy's Wonderland. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I watched
I've
it
never seen that.
Yeah.
It's so good. For me, I think it's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, that one is good. It's a good one. It's slept on. Not a lot of people kind of realize that it's out there and stuff.
Yeah,
it's good. It's
kind of creepy. It's not scary at all, but it's like an adventure. It's really funny. Yeah. I like to laugh because nothing really scares me. So it's like when you work at a haunted house. If you can't scare them, you got to make them laugh. So at least they have an experience.
Right.
So it's like that. Nothing's gonna scare me. So if I can get a chuckle, or if I think something is cool, then I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I don't watch anything for the most part.
Yeah.
I get really excited when I watch movies nowadays and they have jump scares because I'm not scared of a lot either. So just like the feeling of being scared for a second is like exhilarating because I always like to scare myself to death when I was younger, and now I'm like immune to so much. It's like I just really enjoy being scared for a second.
Yeah, especially if it gets you, because then it takes a lot to get to you. So it's like comes out of nowhere when it happens. Because if it's just the music starts to get hyped up, you're like, it's like when the beat drops, it's like something's gonna come out.
Yeah.
No, I need just like a dead body to just like drop down in front of the screen.
Oh, hell yeah.
No warning sounds, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when the annoying one dies, I'm like, yes, finally. Finally, you're gone. If you lasted, I'd have been so mad.
Yep. Yeah, we watched Halloween Ends, and I won't like say who it was because I don't know if everybody's watched it. I would assume close to everyone, but maybe not. But there was one specific character that was just had to go. You know what I mean? Most people are like, "Oh, I can't wait till that bitch dies." And when that moment came, Lydia, can you picture who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, she had to go, and then she went, and it was like just glorifying, you know?
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, we could have done new movie review on that one, but I'll just say this: save your time and don't watch it, folks.
I get that. I put things in the background while I'm making stuff, so I can go over and look over and be like, "Man, that's wild."
Right.
All right, cool. I can't focus on. I don't have the time anymore. I'm like, I gotta do two things at once.
Right.
I haven't seen that new Hellraiser yet. I've heard it's good, but I've also heard it's bad.
Yeah.
I'll watch it regardless.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet either. I have been kind of like scoping the pictures of the new Cenobites and stuff.
It was really cool. The face stretched over. Anybody that's watching, if you have not seen the trailer, go see it. It's so cool.
Yeah. No.
Probably the best part of the film, though.
Oh yeah. No, it looks really cool, and I love how they did like a real like all their clothing is their flesh, so it's layers of flesh. So they took away like the black leather on there, which kind of makes sense. Like, why would black leather like survive in hell? But I was like, Cenobites, you know, that's their thing.
Yeah, like they have a clique. You know, they all have a plot. They all have to wear the same thing. It's like, you're not wearing pink. How dare you?
I was just always like, I don't know. I have stupid thoughts when I watched Hellraiser because I was like, just think of like these like several Cenobites just like walking into a BDSM store to get their pleather.
They return something because it doesn't fit. He has a receipt like stuck to his head to remember. Yes, that's Walgreens.
That's awesome. We actually met we met all the Cenobites at a convention actually, and one of them, I can't remember his name, but he had a sweater that was like knitted, and it had a Cenobite on the sweater. It was like an ugly Christmas sweater that you'd wear to an ugly Christmas sweater party, and it was he was like the Cenobite from the film, and he was wearing a sweater someone knitted with a Cenobite on it.
I love that. So wholesome.
I think that's the main guy. He does a lot of cons.
It might be,
on the circus, the main one.
Yeah,
it'd be fun if he had the knitted sweater, but it was like the front of it, you know, where he has those like nipple flap things.
Yeah,
it was on the sweater. Oh, but
right.
There's no creation for you.
From grandma somewhere. I don't know what this is for, but okay.
Right. Can you imagine like, asking your elderly aunt or grandma, can you knit something for me? Like, I've got some very specific patterns.
I had my grandma, bless her heart. She was the person that took me to the Hot Topic for the first time in Hastings. She had no idea what was going on. She's like, you want the platform, Mary Jane's? Okay. Got the trip chain pants. Yeah, she's like, okay.
That's awesome.
Great. Yeah, my number one fan right there.
Oh, I love that.
Do you guys remember like the Happy Bunny? I think that was what it was. Happy Bunny,
the cartoon where it would have like a little saying with the bunny and it was doing something.
It would be like a cute little bunny, and then it said like "kiss my butt" or something. So it was like a little sarcastic asshole bunny, and they used to sell that stuff at Hot Topic.
Was that you?
I thought it was like the coolest thing. I was like, oh, I wanted all the pins and like the patches because it was like a cute little bunny, but he was like a little pervert bastard, you know? And I remember my grandma would go shopping at Hot Topic and get me the Happy Bunny stuff for Christmas. And I just pictured her going in there like, oh my God, she did that for me. That's awesome.
I'm looking for the bunny with the rude words. Like,
right.
Over here, ma'am, right there. Is it for you? No, didn't think so.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great. That's us when we get really old. We'll be going into places like that. I'd be like, where's your body jewelry?
Right.
I need one for my belly button. It's my anniversary, trying to get wild. Grandma, you can't come in here at work. I want the discount.
Oh,
That's awesome.
my boyfriend talks about with his brother about how we're going to change the scene of nursing homes in the future. They're like, there better be like video games, a bar in there. They start like naming all this stuff. Like now you go into a nursing home, there's like no technology, nothing. It's like this place better be decked out when we get there.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do what my grandma would do. She would pull the tab and wait for them. From timing them. But one day she needed it. She fell and she pulled the tab. Took them an hour. Did she learn her lesson? No, she did not. Hey, grandma, she was amazing.
Keeping them on their toes.
Yeah,
No, I have it planned out. I'm gonna go to a store, go to an aisle no one's in, and lay on the ground and wait. Face down, just wait. And then I'm gonna wait for them to call 911 and everything. And when they all get there, I'm gonna get up and walk away like nothing happened.
Right.
I'm gonna waste everybody's day. I'm about to die scared. So you do arrest me?
you're old, so they're not gonna do shit. That's what I at my work. The worst customers are the elderly. And at first I'm like, oh, that's cute, like little grandma, and then they're like, and I'm just like, you can't do anything about it. So
I can't pick her up and go.
Like, here's a mint. I don't know. I can't make fix your stuff.
Like, you're mad because you don't know what's going on. I don't either, ma'am. Yeah. I get that. They know they're old, so you can't do nothing. All you can do is outlive them. That's the best revenge.
Oh, no, I frequently I work in the financial industry, so I frequently have to explain to the elderly what online banking is. And I swear that is going to be the thing that if there is a heaven that's going to get me there.
You're like, I got all these tickets, all these IOUs.
I got one golden ticket. Like just explaining the internet to an 89-year-old.
Yeah, I did I kind of tech support. It was like a place where you brought your computer when it was broken. And you'd think you wouldn't click on that email that says you're going to get gold from like a Nigerian prince. People click on that.
Oh, no.
Still, I'm like, yo, at this point, it's your own fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They still did. I had to explain to them that wasn't their grandson that sent that email.
Yeah.
And then they're mad and confused. Yeah. And I'm mad and not confused. I'm just like, please go away. I can't help you if you don't listen. Like, what's the point of the hearing aid? You're not listening, sir.
Oh, no.
I have a neighbor. My neighbor sometimes asks me to do favors for her because she's an older lady, and she asked me one time to, if I was going to this certain part of town, if I would go in this restaurant and get her a menu, like a takeout menu. And so I said, sure. So I went in there and they're like, we don't have takeout menus. And I was like, oh, well, do you have like any menus? I was thinking like I would take a picture, and they're like, gave me like a scan code. And I was like, dude, I'm capable of using that. But so, then I go report back to her and I'm like, yeah, sorry, they didn't have takeout menus. They don't even have actual menus. It's just a scan code on their tables. So, and she's like, what? I'm like, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah,
just order the tacos. It's safe.
Like, go online, ma'am. You know how you check your email? There's this place called Google. Type their name in. And then on the right-hand side, they'll have their phone number and address. And then click menu. Usually that will work for you, ma'am. Even that's too many steps. It's like, what? How do I turn it on?
Yeah. Right.
You're like, oh, let me do it for you. I'll handwrite it out for you.
Well, from the elderly on to back to creepy toys, I'm going to share your Instagram here.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Ooh. There we go. So you can find her at SpookyEmber on Instagram. This link also will take you right to the Etsy store. But I wanted to go through some of these on here. I love this little lady here.
Oh, yeah, Barbara.
Lady
Barb. That is perfect. Amazing.
So good.
Yeah, do you want me to break it down for you guys?
Yeah.
All right, so it's a porcelain doll, and I went ahead and removed the head, removed the hair, and everything, things like that. And then all of that buildup to not waste clay is wire and tinfoil.
Okay. So
And
she's
then-
still really light.
Yeah, so it's actually really light, and it's a good way to make it sturdy and also not as heavy
Yeah.
and wasting of clay. And then the teeth are actually resin teeth. You can get it like on Amazon or AliExpress, or I don't think locally you can find it, but you can always make it out of translucent polymer clay as well.
Mhm.
But those are all made out of like resin, and then the eyeballs have a piece of wire that goes through the tongue so they can't break off.
Mhm.
And then I just took the dress and dipped it in watered down acrylic paint so it could be stiff and dirty, and painted it. The way I painted it was the clay I use is already beige, so you already get that skin tone,
Mhm.
like mid-tone color. And then I go in with a dark brown wash of acrylic, wipe it off, and then lightly brush on some like a lighter beige color and seal it with I use the stuff that you use for sealing wood,
Okay.
polyurethane. Gives it a shine, really nasty shine, and then you're good to go.
Sweet. And you were mentioning the other day when you were doing these, at one point you were sticking like the entire dolls.
Yeah. I would stick the whole thing in the oven. My husband did not like that, and he'd think I'm cooking something, get really excited, and then he'd look in there and be like, "Oh, yeah, that's Miss Pork Chop." Her leg actually broke off at a convention, so I had to go to the place that it used to be. So her name turned into IHOP Pork Chop.
Oh, I love it.
And I love this little dude here.
Uncles, oh yeah, I loved him. He was actually something I kept for a long time, and then eventually I get sick of looking at my art. I don't keep my art, so I sold him. His hair is actually the same stuff you use for needle felting.
Okay.
It's just, yeah.
No, I love it. Do you ever like remake dolls if they were like a big hit and sold right away, or is like just you're gonna continue to make unique ones?
Every single one is one of a kind, but I have done ones similar to each other.
Okay.
That's so
Yeah, her little the flash.
Yeah, she's cool. She's wearing another doll's face.
I don't love it.
I especially love her teeth. I love all the teeth on all the dolls, but her teeth, she just looks fake.
Thank you. Those are individually made. Those ones in particular.
Can I just say that the dolls that you make look a lot creepier than the supposed to be scary dolls that we see in like all the movies? Like you need to start making dolls for movies.
So much. That's very nice of you to say. I just wanted to make something that I would want to buy, if that makes sense. I think we all as artists make the things we would have wanted to have, and not that we keep it anyway, but yeah, definitely. Actually, that's a miniature right there. The oh yeah, those are my.
I'll go back to your thing.
Oh yeah, sorry. Those are my Devil's music.
Oh, the cassette tapes. Yeah.
Yeah. The green one is Goblin Core. The clown one is Clown Core, and the other one, I think that one was Love Song or Breakup Songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are a lot of fun.
So cool. And I love that, like, just having like those tiny like little pieces of like unique core decor in your home or around somewhere. So good.
Thank you. Yeah, those eyes on the goblin one, those are just marbles from the dollar store.
Oh, okay.
That's what gives it that really cool effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those things. I buy so many of them.
Now I'm trying to remember where I put my marbles from the 4th grade. So I'll be thinking about that one tonight. This lady here is just creepy too. Anytime you take away what should be like a facial feature that should be there and it's removed is just so sinister.
That one I actually sold. I do not remember. I'm sorry, guys. I do not remember her name, but that I sold to an author, and she's using it for the cover of one of her books.
Oh, that's so cool.
Do I remember? No. I'm bad about that. Oh, I make Furbies as well.
Oh, you gotta love Furbies.
Yeah, those are my extra cursed Furbies. Yeah. because I collect Furbies, so I really wanted to make. There's a community out there called the Odd Body Furbies, where they make really long ones or really weird ones with like doll arms on them. And so I wanted to make ones that were like demonic and Cyclops and Cthulhu ones because I haven't seen those before.
Yeah. No, I love that. Oh yeah. No, it's all so good. And then this one with the animal, was this like an actual skull that you had found then? And like,
I actually have a 3D printer, so I 3D printed an animal skull and like painted it to look realistic. That was actually and the body is a doll that was broken that I got for free. It was missing its head.
mm-hmm.
And so I actually have a video on my TikTok on how I made that, buried somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But that's just tinfoil and some clay and a 3D printed animal skull. We could use a real one.
I love this idea of replacing finger.
Oh my gosh, that was genius.
Those are my thumb babies. They just need somebody to love them.
Oh.
They each have a name. Like there's like the finger and jazz hands, high five. Hold my finger. They all have like names like that.
Oh, I love it all so much. It's all so good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, all the weird stuff.
No, and you're going to be doing a restock here soon of your store, right? On the 21st?
Yeah, it'll be Friday.
Right,
I'll
okay.
be releasing dolls, stuffed animals. I still have VHSs on there, so no VHSs. But any VHS, like that one back there, is for sale. I'll also have mirrors and a vase.
Okay.
Like here's a mirror. I need to clean that. I just painted it, but it's covered in teeth and eyes that I've made.
How cool.
It's so good. And I'm going to show your Etsy here too. So you guys can get to her Etsy from Instagram. But you can also go right to Etsy to Curiously Creepy as well. Yeah, there you see the clown VHS. So good. And then you do the notebooks too.
Yeah, I make, and they each have a little story. Like that's a Soul Snatcher, and then I have some other ones too. But yeah, that's a little journal I made. It's kind of inspired by the Necronomicon, but I wanted like my own version of it, some more detailed.
No, it's so good.
Thank you. And then I got like Hellraiser, and then Chatterer, Clown Movie, Rad the movie monster, Scary Stories on the Dark Journal, a little bit of everything. Got a couple dolls left.
On there.
Yeah, I have collectors, so anybody that does want something, whenever I do my shop update, usually there's two people that buy most everything, so look out for that.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I feel you. You love those faithful fans and supporters, but sometimes you're like trying to like release stuff like on the slide to like grow that faithful fan and supporter base also.
Yeah, it gets a little hectic sometimes. I'm like, no, wait. I actually have that one right here. You can actually see more of the detail.
Oh, here, I'll get you.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
But it's hard to tell on camera.
I love those like boils.
Thank you. It's like either boils or eyes. It can be either.
Yeah.
There you go. For the people on the cell phones.
Like, what is that? I can't zoom. But she's really cool. These are actually little beads. And then I went back and painted them.
That's really cool. I love that.
Like, really gross.
Oh my gosh. I can't get over like the detail on the faces.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then
so
I have my initials carved in them.
That's so cool. I love it. How crazy is it to have to like package that stuff up to ship it? Is it like a huge process to do that?
It's not too bad. They're actually easier. I do stuffed animals, and since stuffed animals have soft bodies, those are the biggest pain I have ever experienced in my life. The porcelain dolls, I have that foam wrapping that you use for your dishes when you're moving, and I wrap like 2 layers around the head, and then I wrap them around the arms and the legs. And then I kind of like, I have paper packaging, like that brown paper, and I wrap it in that, and I cover it in like really gross looking rope, and then I put the evidence tag on it. So it kind of looks like you're getting like evidence sent to you.
I need to buy one and see this for myself.
Yeah, I don't have I wish I had an evidence tag to show you. I guess here's an example. I haven't cut these out, and I put like all the information on it, and then they get confidential stamps on there, and the confidential stamp is actually a real one from a law office that closed.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's like vintage.
You're like, you know how many death certificates that thing is stamped?
So many. So many. Added bonus. I love it. And then I handwrite and draw a little picture of whatever you buy as like a thank you. Usually.
Wow. So you put like so much work into everything you do. I think that's just amazing.
Thank you. I want what I want when I get something in the mail, and I always like those special little touches because if it's a little drawing on it, at the very least I can keep it for the drawing.
Oh yeah.
And
we get excited to get like old football cards in the mail when we order from Solmar. So
oh, yeah,
like, am I gonna get a football card or a Pokemon card or like a Power Ranger trading card from 1994?
Oh, yeah,
so a little story and everything like that. That is just so cool. I love that.
Yeah, I wanted to go above and beyond just because that's, I don't know, it's like at the end of the day, you're sitting there and you have those what if moments and you're like, well, I could have done this differently. I like to do it like that so I don't feel as though I missed a step, that I could have made it more of an experience. And I like more than making things, but really is like having people have an experience and have like something to talk about for other people as well. And for me to have something, because like art, how much can I really say? I put clay on dolls, but I can talk forever about the stories.
For sure. I would love to see.
Okay.
Sorry. Go ahead. I was just gonna say I would love to see like the people that are your regulars that have like quite a collection of the things that you've made. I would love to see like a picture of their setup. You know, how they like display it or what they use it for, and you know, maybe they have all the dolls lined up in a parade, like Lydia's picture with a little framed plaque of all the stories and everything in front of it.
Actually, there's one of them. Her name is Sadie. She has been buying for me for probably over a year now, and she probably has at least 50 of my things.
Oh my god!
She has a spare room. Her guest room has like built-in shelvings, and that its theme is me. She's told me.
Yeah.
She buys. Yeah, so she has them in all the little shelves she's shown me, and she actually has some in her office now, and she'll send me pictures. She's really cool. I've done a lot of customs for her too, and it's fantastic. It's so much fun to see. It's like, wow, all right.
Yeah, see them all together, and then you like look back and you're like, oh, I forgot about this one or not. Do you keep like a compilation of like the stories that you write for each doll? Like, do you have that archived somewhere?
Nope.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous on there. No, I love it. I would love to see what that compilation would be of like someone who has that big collection, like what those stories were. Do you ever find that maybe sometimes like some of your dolls, like the stories you give them tie together? Like no one else would know but you, or if somebody had multiples on there.
Definitely. I've done some where I've done I like clowns. So I do clown collections of stuffed animals. And some of them are related to each other.
Okay.
There was Dip and Dot, and you know, usually one I like that also encourages you to buy two, but yeah, a lot of them are related. A lot of my clowns that are food named are related in my eyes and things like that. So I think that the stories like go into each other, and sometimes I'll even include that. I'll mention them by names. Usually it's through releases. I don't go back to a character usually, because I'm the type of person that once I make something and it's gone, it's gone. I don't think about it. I only think about it to not do it again. Like the idea of the exclusivity of just you having it. I might do something similar, but it won't be an exact replica.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I use the thrift store things, because no matter what, you're never going to get the same thing. I don't think I've ever gotten the same doll.
Okay. No, exactly. So do you take, you mentioned commissions, so do people like send you in, they'll commission, like they'll send you in their own doll they already have, or they'll just commission you with like what kind of style doll they want you to make?
I've only done like 2 commissions for dolls. Usually people want me to do Furbies, surprisingly. But no one sent me anything in before. I have right now I probably have about 50 dolls to work on. So
Okay.
usually I take a picture. I'll ask them like what the theme they're going for, and then I'll look through my dolls. And also I'll ask them the size of the doll, because I have smaller dolls that would be cheaper, but I also have larger dolls that would be more expensive because it would cost a lot to ship to begin with.
Hmm.
Or they're more fancy. Like I have ones with hand stitching on it. So it just depends. And then I'll grab like a selection of about 5, take a picture, send it to them, and they can pick. If they don't like any, I have another batch. Usually I'll do it like that because I wouldn't mind if someone sent me something in, but I know that would get expensive fast.
Yeah. No,
Depends on the
definitely.
person. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of my hoard that's in storage somewhere because those dolls ended up coming back to me later in my life. So
Like, no, why are they here? No, but yeah, I wouldn't mind someone sending something in. I'm just like I'm brutally honest when people ask me to do certain things. I'm like, that's gonna cost a lot.
yeah,
If you want to mail it to me for 10, and then I mail it back to you, and then if it breaks on the way here, it's just
yeah.
it depends on what it is. And I do take commissions though, but I don't ask me to paint your dog or anything like that. I was asked. I'm like, have you looked at my art? I don't think you want me to paint. Is your dog dead or alive? I don't think you want me to paint your dog. I wouldn't do it justice.
You ask them that, and they send you like a picture of roadkill. It's like,
I was
you're
block. Like, that's the type of person. I ain't getting killed today. No, thank you. Because I'll mail it to them. Like, yes, I have her address now. I'll be like, great. Murder on the mind. Thanks.
Is there anything new that you're working on that's getting you excited outside of like the dolls and the Furbies and the VHS types right now?
Yes, actually, I am going to a Renaissance fair with a friend of mine next week. So I learned how to sew so I can sew my costume. But I made this staff. So I'm going as a necromancer, and we found these sticks in the woods, and I made like this weird thing hanging off of it. I call it the death chime. So it makes this little ding ding ding. So it was the first time I did that, and then I learned how to sew, and that was horrifying. I don't know why anybody does that for fun. Felt like it was a punishment. I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
The steam ripping, man. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be my last straw. But I've been excited about that. It's something to look forward to, something really different. And my friend, has a lot of skills that I don't, and I have a couple that she doesn't. She picks things up so fast, though. I'm like, damn it. But it's been fun. It's been fun to have someone to craft with. But I've been excited about that. And at the moment, though, I'm not working on anything too outside of my comfort zone. Usually, if it's clay related, I can do anything for the most part. Like the mirrors, that was my first time doing a mirror. And then the other thing I'm excited about is the fun house back there. I've been working on for a year because I got to a point where I liked it too much and I didn't want to work on it and mess it up. So my goal is to finish it by the end of the month.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
Are you able to like lift up the fun house at all? I hate to ask. I don't know like if it's in a delicate state or not.
No, it's solid.
Oh, let me put you on the big screen. This is so good. Oh no.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see inside of there. There's this. The first room is the clown portrait room, and then back in there is, I feel like an old person on FaceTime. Oh my gosh, I can't. Back there is a room of mirrors, and then the exit is a screaming clown face. But it is almost done. It's just a matter of, I'm gonna make trash, like fake little trashes to go on the side, and like cigarette butts, and spilt popcorn and cotton candy. And on the back side, I'm gonna cover it in missing person flyers.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's kind of like foreboding. It's like, why are there so many missing person flyers? I'm gonna cover this up to look like a breaker box.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of this is handmade, and it was a pain. These are like Mardi Gras beads. This was actually made out of foam board from the dollar store, wood beads from the dollar store. I sculpted over. This is paper mache with chopsticks in the middle. This is Crayola foam clay. These eyes are just those marbles you can get from those like pebble marbles for like squirrel. I glued those on, but I cut out a hole, and the lighting is Christmas tree lighting from the dollar store from last year. Yeah. And the moss in this, that is to get this effect, because this is just foam. It's just sawdust and glue, and then painted over it to look like that.
That is so cool.
I love it. Everyone is obsessed with it. Everyone in the comments is going crazy.
When you're doing like a process, like working on something like this, and do you like jot down all of your ideas, or is it like over a period of time you have ideas before you go to like execute the project, or your mind's just like a mile a minute?
I make lists, and then it's like, what do I want to work on? Because I was working on an oddity shop and I didn't have fun doing it, so then I switched to this. Really, it was just me drawing out the layout that I wanted, and then ideas, because I know it's not going to look exact. I never do anything exactly how I wanted to do it. Never in a million years. So it was just a list. Like, I wanted to have a clown face as the front, and I wanted to light up, and I wanted to have the big top design, and I wanted to look really old and worn. And then from there, it was just a matter of like, what supplies I have and what can I do with it. And it was just, honestly, I've said I've worked on it for a year, but this all was done last year, and I've just been sitting there.
Oh, wow.
It's been, yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you. I've also done the needle pit from Saw 2.
Really? That's cool.
114 mini needles I've made for it.
Oh my gosh.
I can grab it. You guys want to see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll let you grab that.
Those are so much cooler than like the little villages that you can buy at the store.
Deb says, I would love to see that in a life-size version. I was just thinking that should be our layout for our next vendor booth next year at Camp School 3, Leah.
Yes. I think so.
Here is the replica of the room from Saw 2, and in here are the needles.
Oh my gosh. You said there's how many of those?
114.
Oh wow. That's awesome.
I got the little needle part.
Yeah. That's
great. How you can make them too is really easy. It's an earring backing, a piece of wire, and a clear bead.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Oh my gosh.
And if anybody saw, I did like the vent for the poison coming through, the locked door, and it even has a little camera with the light coming on there.
That's awesome. Just the detail.
Yeah.
You need to do like an entire dollhouse where every room is like a scene from a different horror film. Or are you already doing that? I tried, you guys. I wanted it to look like the inside of a body. So I wanted it to be the flesh house. So everything inside was made out of like body organs and flesh. So I wanted the TV to look fleshy, the bathtub, and then each room would be a part of the human body. Like the dining room would be the intestines, so it's like past the stomach and everything like that. And then I wanted the top part to have like a brain in there and like a heart in the bedroom and stuff like that. And I got mad at it and destroyed it about a year ago. Oh no!
Interior, love it. Exterior, I can't figure it out, you guys. I can't. I couldn't figure out what color to make it. And I went with gray, I went with blue, I went with purple, I went with like an off-white yellow. And then I took a baseball bat too. I threw it in the air and I hit it, and it was fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Well, I bet it looked amazing anyway.
It was just driving up the wall. I couldn't stop letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a laser cut one.
Yeah. It was fun while it lasted.
I was like, I'll do it again someday.
Yeah.
That day's not today.
Or tomorrow.
Such a cool idea, though.
Yeah, I'll definitely make a singular room that's made out of flesh. I think that would be cool, but not
Mhm.
I don't make miniatures too much anymore because I didn't sell my miniatures because those are really hard to sell.
Yeah.
I had to put a price tag on it because it takes so long.
So long, for sure.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, so if the majority of your business is online, shipping that too, like that'd just be
You
insane.
get a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. Like, how can you, like, even showing it on the camera, like, you don't get to actually see all the little details. Because there's parts of the wall that are falling apart, and you can see the skeleton of the house right there.
Yeah.
And there's mold in there, but like you can't see all of that. There's no way. It'd be an in-person sell.
Oh yeah, no picture would ever do that whole thing justice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can imagine someone opening their box and 600 little syringes. All over the place. Yeah.
So. No, that's so cool. I've never thought of that. Just like making those like little tiny like horde dioramas and stuff. Like, especially since like tiny things are so fun. I think that's why like people love like Funkos and like tiny horde characters and things that come out. You're like, oh, it's like creepy, but it's tiny.
Yeah. I think really small is really cute, and it gets very, very complicated very fast.
Yeah.
Especially there's miniaturists out there that do true to size, so they do the 1 to 12 size. Like mine, I don't measure. None of that's measured. That is like wishful thinking and good luck. I cut as I go. A lot of people, they're like, okay, it has to be this size because like what's like a 12:1 ratio of a person, that's about that big. So that means the chair has to be this big, which means the bed has to be this big. And I'm like, nah, that's too much.
No. We saw a really cool one at this Halloween store by us, and someone had actually taken a TV. It was like a small TV, and busted the inside out, and it was like a Freddy Krueger scene in there with, I think, like the NECA figures or something, and it had like the all your basic Freddy Krueger stuff that should be included, and
that's sick. They should have turned the TV into Freddy Krueger. You know that there's one scene. They should have done the arms on the side and the Freddy Krueger face coming up, and then the scene in it. Oh, that would have been. That's still really cool.
For some reason, I think it did have arms. I don't. It didn't have a head for sure, but I think it might have had arms, if I'm thinking correctly. Unless I'm just taking your idea and putting it in my memory.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I've seen like a couple too. There was another one they did that was the Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and they had the Season of the Witch NECA figures and the couch, and then on the little TV was the Silver Shamrock with the pumpkin and everything, and it was cool. They had like little leaves in there, and the wallpaper was peeling, and
that is so cool. I'm too cheap for that. I know. It's like I see those things and I'm like, that's cute, and I look at the price tag and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
If I make stuff, I'm like, what would I want? And then I make it and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Well, folks, we're coming up on our hour here. So, folks, make sure you check out all of SpookyEmber stuff. It is so good. This Friday, again, it's going to be more items added on. You can get to the Etsy from Instagram, or you can go right to Etsy to Curiosity Creepy. I can't talk right now because I had 2 shots of tequila before the show here. Liquid courage, people. Liquid courage happening. But make sure to check our girl out here. Support all things creepy and spooky here, folks. And then also, make sure you guys check out deadbitchesbrunch.com for all things Dead Bitches Brunch. Let's see, my ticker's not. There we go. And you can see everything about the Carrie Challenge as well, which we still have going on. Just click on that fun little link there, and that takes you to our Carrie Challenge. You guys have until the 29th to get your entries in for the Carrie Challenge. And
so come on, guys. We're getting close to that deadline. We're waiting for you.
We're getting close. And I mean, you can win the Gore Horror.
The Gore Horror.
Oh, that was awesome. What?
The first one. So, yes. And she's here. And she's going to get that little ticker off there because that's sorry about that, folks. No, she's so good. She's so juicy. So I'm painting up one of these for Leah and I fucked our masks up a little bit, Leah, but I'll fix it. I've got a plan to fix it, okay?
Okay.
I have, just to reiterate, I am Igor, the apprentice at Filbert Studios, okay? Sometimes scissor action. That sounded bad. No, when you're cutting latex masks.
That is amazing.
This could be yours if you enter into the Carrie Challenge and you have until October 29th to do so.
So good.
Coming with some fake blood from Chucky on there too. Bonus.
Yep.
This is awesome. It's good quality and it has a really nice buckle in the back. You normally do not get that.
Right. Most of the masks that most people make, and even for us at Filbert Studios, it's just the elastic strap on here. So yeah, Gravity Bleeds came up with, he's trying some new leveling up on the strap thing. So it's still adjustable, but it's really, really comfy. And yeah, easy to snap on there. And she's a little beaut. And you'll know you're getting the first one because when I had Brandon make this, I was like, he did the hair over the eyes on here. So trying to figure that out in a mold and then cutting that out on there. So this one has a little pinch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know this is the very first one.
Yes, it is.
So, number one, she's beautiful. Enter the Carrie Challenge, folks.
Do the Carrie Challenge. Right now. Right now.
Do it right now. And check out SpookyEmber's store on Friday with that restock, or go now and get some killer cassette tapes and VHS sets. And there's cool little dolls on there. Support independent artists, support female artists, support females in the horror community. Okay.
Definitely. And if you message me, if you buy something, message me that you guys watch the podcast, and I might throw in a little extra thing for you.
Ooh, maybe a little extra tooth.
Sacrifice? No. Well, thank you so much, Amber, for being on with us tonight. It has been an absolute pleasure having you with us. We hope to have you back again. You're killing it. You're killing it. I have never seen a creepier doll in my whole life, or in toys and VHS tapes, and we want it all. So you're killing it. Keep on doing what you're doing. It's amazing. And thank you to everybody that supports these female artists and creators here in the horror scene on here. We appreciate you all. Thank you everybody who has tuned in tonight and who's tuning in later on because you couldn't catch the live. That's okay. We still appreciate you all. We are not having an episode next week, but we will be popping on the 30th to announce the winner of the Carrie Challenge. So
get to it.
Get to it. Get to it, okay? It's a good time, y'all. It's a good time.
Good prizes.
That's it, folks. Thanks again for tuning in and hanging out with us. Stay dead.